The used market is a dangerous minefield, and most unwary buyers are walking straight into a financial explosion with a smile. Make no mistake, a dealer only wants to move metal. They will never tell you that a shiny sedan is actually a mechanical time bomb. They hide truth behind glossy paint and clean interiors, while the engine is already eating itself alive. Today, I am exposing the 10 cars you must absolutely avoid at all costs. We strip away marketing myths and reveal fatal flaws that every salesman hopes you never discover. One wrong year or one weak engine, and you are trapped with a $10,000 repair bill. In this deadly minefield, the cold truth is your only protection. Let's begin. Number 10. 2007 to 2009. Toyota Camry 2.4. This is the car everybody assumes is safe, because it says Toyota on the trunk, and that is exactly why it belongs here. The problem child is the 2007 to 2009 Camry with a 2.4-liter 2AZ-FE 4-cylinder, usually paired with the 5-speed automatic. Buyers get fooled because the buy-in still looks cheap, the car is roomy, the parts are everywhere, and the Toyota badge makes people relax before they should. But Toyota itself issued a warranty enhancement tied to excessive oil consumption on certain cars with this engine. And that matters because it confirms this was not just random owner whining. A Camry that burns oil can still drive fine for a while, which makes the trap worse. The owner keeps topping it off, keeps pretending it is normal. Then one lazy interval later, the engine is worn, noisy, or simply headed the wrong way. Current used prices are still tempting, usually around $5,000 to $9,000, depending on miles and condition, and that is what tricks people. They think they found the safe midsize deal. My garage view is simple. If I were shopping in this era, I would want the later 2.5-liter car, not this one. The better alternative is the 2010 to 2011 Camry 2.5, because that upgrade takes away the biggest reason this older 4-cylinder makes buyers nervous. If you are still looking at the 2.4, check the oil level, ask direct questions about consumption, and look hard for blue smoke at startup or after a long idle. That badge hides this flaw better than most bargain cars. This is the perfect example of why this video matters. Even Toyota got one wrong, and the market price is not low by accident. Number 9. 2011 to 2014. Chevrolet Cruze 1.4. Turbo. At first glance, the Cruze looks like an easy commuter win, but under the hood, it can turn into a slow, annoying money drain. The trap years are 2011 through 2014, mainly in the 1LT and LTZ cars with the 1.4-liter Turbo 4. On paper, this thing makes sense. The cabin still looks modern enough, fuel economy sounds good, and the used price usually sits around $3,500 to $7,000, which feels like a bargain for something that does not look ancient. That is exactly the problem. People shop with their eyes, not with the repair history. General Motors issued special coverage tied to water pump coolant leaks on these cars, and there are also documented patterns involving the PCV system, cam cover trouble, and thermostat housing leaks. None of that sounds dramatic by itself, but together it creates the kind of car that keeps bleeding money in annoying little chunks. That is the worst kind of used car because it rarely dies in one heroic moment. It just keeps turning simple ownership into a running list of little failures. One week, there is a coolant loss. Next month, it is rough idle. Then you are chasing boost leaks, plastic cooling parts, or another underhood mess that should not happen this often. Turbo savings vanish once leaks become routine. The better alternative here is the 2012 to 2013 Mazda 3 with a 2.0 or 2.5 and a conventional automatic, because that car gives you the same basic commuter mission without the same turbo-related drama. If you are staring at a cheap Cruze and talking yourself into it, stop and ask the harder question. Do you want low payments, or do you want low-stress ownership? Those are not the same thing as this car. Number 8. 2013 to 2017. Nissan Sentra CVT. This is the appliance sedan that turns into a transmission gamble the second the warranty disappears, and the seller starts saying it has been perfect. The problem group is the 2013 through 2017 Sentra with the 1.8-liter 4-cylinder and Nissan's CVT. Buyers get fooled because the car is roomy for a compact, easy to find, cheap to finance, and usually priced around $5,000 to $9,000, which makes it look like a smart daily beater. But a cheap Nissan sedan does not automatically mean smart beater. Nissan issued CVT warranty extensions covering Sentra models in this range, with coverage tied to the transmission assembly, valve body, torques converter, and transmission control issues. That tells you everything you need to know about why these cars carry a reputation. The problem is not that every single one explodes tomorrow. The problem is that enough of them have the same kind of transmission story that a used buyer should not brush it off. When a CVT starts acting up, the car can hesitate, flare, shudder, or feel strange at low speed. And none of that gets cheaper once the warranty clock runs out. That is why this car belongs on an avoid list, not a hidden gems list. The better alternative is the 2011 to 2013 Toyota Corolla 1.8 with the 4-speed automatic. It is less flashy, a little older in feel, and nowhere near as modern on paper, but it avoids the exact kind of transmission risk that turns cheap transportation into expensive regret. If you are shopping for a Sentra in this price band, do not let roomy seats and decent miles per gallon talk you out of common sense. A low price does not fix a weak transmission story. It usually just means the next owner gets stuck holding it. If you want the cars to avoid, not just the same safe names everybody repeats, subscribe. We call out bad years, trap engines, and smarter alternatives. That matters before low prices wreck your monthly budget. Number 7. 2009 to 2012 Audi A4 2.0T. Audi makes this A4 feel like a luxury bargain right up until the engine starts asking for very real money. The trap years are 2009 through 2012, and I still stay careful into 2013, especially on A4 cars using the 2.0T EA8884 4-cylinder from the CAEB era. Buyers get fooled for obvious reasons. The cabin still looks classy, the badge still feels expensive, Quattro sounds like value, and the used price usually falls into the $6,500 to $10,000 lane, which makes people think they found a luxury bargain. That is where the math turns ugly. Audi issued warranty extensions tied to timing chain and tensioner failures, and there were also oil consumption and piston-related issues tied to affected 2.0T cars. That is not internet gossip. That is factory paper, and it changes the whole risk picture. The body and interior age better than the owner's bank account, and that is the real warning here. A clean-looking A4 can still hide a cold start rattle, a low oil warning, or the kind of repair estimate that instantly kills the whole cheap German car fantasy. If the seller says it only needs a quart here and there, that is not a cute quirk. That is a signal. This is why I tell people to shop the engine first, then the leather, not the other way around. And once chain or piston work enters the chat, the whole price gap versus a safe Japanese sedan disappears in one brutal service visit. If you want the same basic mission without the same pain, the better alternative is the 2010 to 2014 Acura TSX with the 2.4 and a conventional automatic. It is not as flashy, and it will not impress the same people in a parking lot, but it is far more likely to give you calm ownership instead of an expensive lesson in how fast a deal can disappear. Number 6. 2011 to 2014 Kia Optima 2.4 or 2.0 Turbo. This is one of the best-looking cheap mid-size sedans on the market, and one of the fastest ways to buy yourself an engine story you do not want. The danger zone is the 2011 through 2014 Optima with the Theta, 2.4 GDI, or the 2.0 Turbo GDI. Buyers get pulled in because the car still looks modern, the cabin feels nicer than the money suggests, the feature list looks strong, and the used price usually lands around $5,500 to $8,500. That sounds safe, until you remember why the market priced it there. Kia recall filings and service bulletins cover these Optima years for inspection and possible engine replacement on the 2.4 GDI and 2.0T GDI Theta 2 engines. That is the trap in one sentence. The styling sells confidence, but the engine history should kill it. A lot of buyers see the screen, the wheels, the body shape, and the leather, and start shopping with their eyes instead of their repair budget. That is backwards. A used mid-size sedan is supposed to lower your stress, not put you one oil pressure light away from a major decision. If you hear a knock, see the oil lamp flicker, or get a vague story about a recent engine check, stop right there. A good screen, heated seats, and fresh paint mean nothing when the engine family already carries a reputation that smart used buyers should respect. This is why I keep saying cheap and smart are not the same thing. The better alternative is the 2014 to 2016 Mazda 6 2.5 with the 6-speed automatic. It still looks sharp. It still feels more upscale than a basic commuter. And it does not carry the same engine cloud over every test drive. If a cheap Optima looks like a steal, slow down. Pretty sheet metal does not make a weak engine history disappear. It just helps the next owner ignore it for a little longer. Number 5. 2009 to 2013 Volkswagen CC or Passat 2.0T. Volkswagen made this car look far more expensive than it really is, and that styling hides a very costly truth. The trouble lane is roughly 2009 through 2013 in the Volkswagen CC or Passat 2.0T, especially the Tensioner-era EA888 cars. On the surface, these cars are easy to justify. They look upscale, they drive with that German road feel people romanticize, and the used price usually falls somewhere between $4,500 and $9,000. That sounds like a style for cheap. The real cost shows up later. Volkswagen issued timing chain and tensioner warranty extensions tied to failed timing chain systems, and that should end the argument right there for a value-minded used buyer. When the chain story is this well known, the low price is not a gift. It is a warning. A pretty CC with a quiet idle and a clean dash can still greet you with a cold start rattle tomorrow. And that is exactly why buyers get trapped. These cars look richer than they are and cost more than they should, especially once the engine starts asking for chain work, oil attention, or other age-related repairs that make the whole ownership story feel heavy. That is why these cars feel cheap in the classifieds but expensive the moment you start asking honest questions about service history and real repair proof. If you like the shape and want a safer answer, the better alternative is the 2012 to 2014 Passat 2.55 cylinder. It is not perfect, but it avoids the exact 2.0T risk that makes the prettier bargain so hard to defend. This is one of those cases where the prettier choice is also the more dangerous one for your wallet. It sells a premium image, then hands you a repair conversation that sounds a lot less glamorous. We are building this channel for smart buyers who hate cheap car math, fake savings, and surprise repairs that turn a bargain into a long, expensive regret. Number 4. 2015 to 2017 Chrysler 200 2.4. This is the sleek, cheap sedan dealers love, because the price grabs attention faster than the repair history ever will. The danger zone is the 2015 to 2017 Chrysler 200 with the 2.4-liter multi-air, 2.4-cylinder and the 9-speed automatic. On a listing page, it looks like a steal. The body still looks modern. The cabin looks surprisingly upscale, and loaded trims make buyers feel like they found luxury for economy car money. Loaded trims fool buyers who never ask why a newer-looking sedan is priced this low. That is the trap. The cheapness is not an accident. FCA service bulletins cover oil consumption on the 2.4 across models, including this car, and there are separate bulletins tied to oil supply and actuator-related issues. That should change the entire conversation before you even ask about the leather, the screen, or the wheels. These cars usually sit in the $6,500 to $10,000 lane, and that price is exactly what makes them so dangerous. Buyers see something that looks newer than the money and assume the downside cannot be that serious. Then the engine starts burning oil, the powertrain acts strangely, or the 9-speed starts reminding you why cheap and smart are not the same thing. This is one of those sedans that sells hope better than it delivers calm ownership. It photographs well, drives well enough on a short test loop, and then slowly turns into a car that needs too much explaining. That is why I tell people to stop shopping for trim names and start shopping for engines, families. The better alternative here is the 2014 to 2017 Mazda 6 with the 2.5 and the 6-speed automatic. It still looks sharp, still feels more expensive than a basic commuter, and does not ask you to gamble on the same oily story hiding under the hood. If a Chrysler 200 looks like a fresh bargain, that usually means the market already noticed something you have not. Number 3. 2012 to 2015 BMW 528i. BMW prices start looking tempting right around the moment the timing chain risk becomes your bill instead of theirs. The trouble pick is the 2012 to 2015 528i with the turbocharged 2.0-liter N20 or N26 4-cylinder and the 8-speed automatic. Buyers get fooled because this car still feels like a real luxury sedan. The badge is premium, the ride is comfortable, the cabin looks expensive, and the used prices can look almost absurd, usually around $5,000 to $11,000, depending on miles and condition. The cabin feels rich, but the repair math shows up right after the honeymoon ends. That sounds like a huge win until you remember why a BMW that once cost real money is suddenly sitting in used Corolla territory. BMW issued limited warranty extensions for the timing chain and oil pump drive chain modules on affected N20 and N26 engines. That is exactly the kind of factory language you do not want attached to your cheap luxury car. This is where BMW's cheapness often turns into delayed repair math. The first owner got the status. The second owner gets the chain anxiety, the service bill, and the joy of explaining why a bargain car needs premium labor rates. These cars can feel silent and impressive on a test drive, and that is part of the danger. The warning signs do not always show up as obvious drama on day one. Sometimes it is the service history that tells the truth. Sometimes it is a cold start sound, a repair invoice, or the absence of one. The better alternative is the 2010 to 2012 Lexus ES 350. It is not as flashy, and it will not give you the same badge story, but it will usually give you the one thing buyers in this lane actually need, which is reliable comfort without a timing chain cloud hanging over every startup. If you want luxury for cheap, do not buy the one that only looks affordable, because the next big bill is probably yours. Number 2. 2012 to 2016 Ford Focus Automatic. This is one of the most tempting cheap commuters in America, and one of the easiest ways to buy a transmission headache on purpose. The trap is the 2012 to 2016 Ford Focus, with the 2.0-liter four-cylinder and the DPS6 PowerShift dry dual-clutch automatic. This is the perfect example of a car being cheap for the right reason. It drives nicely when healthy. The steering feels better than most bargain sedans. The cabin still looks modern enough, and the prices can get absurdly low, usually around $3,000 to $7,000. That is what tricks buyers. They think nobody noticed. Ford absolutely noticed. Dealer bulletins and customer satisfaction programs document clutch shudder, transmission control module warranty extensions, intermittent loss of engagement, no start, and lack of power complaints on DPS6 equipped Focus cars. That is not one weird issue. That is a pattern. Too many buyers blame themselves, even though the transmission story was already public. And once a car develops a reputation like that, the low price is not a secret advantage. It is a warning label. The sad part is that this car could have been a real value with a different automatic. Instead, it became the used market version of a trapdoor. Buyers get seduced by how normal it feels at a glance, and then spend the next year explaining the jerks, the hesitation, the shudder, or the random refusal to act right. This is why I keep saying that shopping by monthly payment or listing price is lazy. You have to shop by transmission type. The better alternative here is the 2012 to 2013 Mazda 3 with either the conventional automatic or the manual. You still get a compact that feels good to drive, but you do not have to sign up for the same fragile transmission story. Cheap Focus automatics are not cheaper because nobody figured them out. They are cheaper because the market did. Subscribe if you want exact model year truth, real engine warnings, and the smarter alternatives, not lazy advice that says every car is terrible or every badge is safe. Number 1. 2011 to 2014 Hyundai Sonata 2.4 or 2.0 Turbo. Nothing fools buyers faster than a cheap Sonata with nice features, right up until the engine starts making the sound everyone dreads. The danger zone is the 2011 to 2014 Hyundai Sonata, especially the 2.4 GDI cars people buy as safe family sedans, but the 2.0 Turbo belongs in the same conversation. On paper, the value looks almost too good. These cars are everywhere. They still look modern enough. The cabins feel decent. The feature lists are strong, and used prices usually sit around $5,000 to $9,000. That is exactly why so many buyers walk into them. A family sedan should lower stress, not make every engine sound feel expensive. Hyundai's Theta, 2 recalls, the NHTSA, consent order history, and later warranty extension and KSDS-related documents all tie these cars to engine failure concerns and extended coverage connected to connecting rod-bearing wear, abnormal engine noise, no crank, or no start conditions. That is not internet fear talking. That is the paper trail. And because the styling still looks current enough, buyers keep convincing themselves the risk is worth it. This is why this car closes the list. The value proposition looks strongest here, which makes the trap even worse. You feel like you are buying a modern family sedan for old Corolla money. Then one day, the engine starts making noise. The warning light shows up, or the seller's "it runs great" story suddenly sounds a lot less convincing. The smarter move is to step sideways, not forward. The better alternative is the 2015 to 2017 Toyota Camry 2.5. It is not the sexiest answer, and that is exactly why it is the right one. You get a mid-size sedan that still feels modern enough without carrying the same engine cloud over the purchase. If a cheap Sonata looks too good to pass up, stop and remember the pattern in this whole video. The used market is not always stupid. Sometimes the price is low because the engine family earned that price the hard way. Buyer rules. Here is the pattern every smart buyer needs to remember. Cheap used cars turn into traps when the low price is covering a bad engine family, a known weak transmission, or a warranty extension history that people pretend is old news. That fake logic ruins more budgets than high mileage ever does. Shop by engine code, by transmission type, and by actual service proof. Do not shop by trim badge, by giant screen, or by the fantasy that you found a premium car for economy money. A clean body means nothing if the engine underneath has a famous flaw. A good badge means nothing if the transmission story is already written. And a low monthly payment means nothing if one repair can wipe out the whole savings. The market is not always irrational. Sometimes a low price is the most honest thing about the car. That is what smart buyers check before glossy photos start clouding simple judgment. Shop the mechanical story first and the pretty details second. Click the next video now, because that list is the flip side of this one. The cheap used cars mechanics actually trust, buy, and recommend when buyers want value without the hidden disaster. Watch that first, then buy with clearer eyes.